It started like any other Monday, late alarm, burnt toast, and my boss texting me, "Where are you?" in all caps. I didn't know that by the end of the day, I'd be dodging bullets, arguing with the FBI, and chasing a possibly dead teenager across 3 states. But that's America for you. Land of the free, home of the extremely weird. I was halfway through my coffee at Joe's Diner when a man in a trench coat slid into my booth. No hello, no introduction, just, "You're in danger, Ethan." His voice was low, serious, like he'd just walked off the set of a crime drama. Before I could respond, he placed a small silver key on the table. It was cold, heavy, and had the number to 114 etched on it. "Union Station Locker, DC," he said. "Don't let the wrong people get it." Then he stood, buttoned his coat, and walked out. I stared at the key. I wasn't too sure if I'd been recruited for a spy mission or pranked for some TikTok channel. The waitress glanced at it and said, "Honey, that thing's either gonna make you rich or get you shot." Great, just great. By noon, my curiosity had won. I hopped on a Greyhound to Washington, D.C. The bus smelled like stale coffee and bad decisions. A kid in a hoodie kept looking at me like I owed him money. At a rest stop, he vanished. My bag didn't. Small victory. Union Station was buzzing with commuters when I found locker to 114. My palms were sweaty as I turned the key. Inside was a shoebox. I lifted the lid. A revolver wrapped in an old map. The map had a red X smack in the middle of Kansas. "Hands where I can see them," said a voice behind me. I turned to see a tall woman in a leather jacket pointing a gun at me. She flashed a badge. "FBI, you're coming with me." In her black SUV, she told me her name was Agent Laura Pierce. She didn't believe my diner story, but she did believe the map was connected to something called the Vault. We were heading to Kansas. She drove like the speed limit was a rumor. I clung to the door handle and wondered if this counted as being kidnapped. Somewhere in Ohio, we stopped for snacks. 2 men in black suits were loitering near our SUV. "Friends of yours?" I asked. Laura's jaw tightened. "Get in, now." We peeled out. She muttered something about the order and artifact retrieval teams. I muttered something about wanting my bed. We stayed the night in a rundown Kansas motel. She handed me the revolver. "In case they find us." I'd never held a gun before. At 3 a.m., I woke to footsteps. Peeking through the blinds, I saw the hoodie kid from the bus, holding a lantern. Laura opened the door, but he vanished into thin air. Literally, in the morning, muddy footprints led from the door to my bed. Laura looked tense. "We're dealing with more than the order," she said. "We've got ghosts." I wasn't sure if she was joking. The Red X was an abandoned church in the middle of nowhere. Inside, under a trapdoor, we found a glowing black crystal on a pedestal. "The heart of Ashford," Laura whispered. The air shimmered, and the ghost kid appeared again, his eyes glowing white. "You shouldn't be here," he said, and the crystal vanished. Outside, a black van sped off, with him at the wheel. We gave chase, bouncing over dirt roads. The van swerved into a cornfield, but when we followed, it was gone. Just gone. No tracks, no nothing. Laura slammed the steering wheel. "He's not just a ghost, he's a gatekeeper." Laura explained between gritted teeth that the heart could open a rift, a literal tear between worlds. The Order wanted it, and if they got it, reality could turn into something out of a horror movie. Apparently, I was now her civilian asset because I'd been chosen to receive the key. I told her I'd rather be chosen to win the lottery. We followed leads through tiny Kansas towns, each weirder than the last. In one diner, a man swore he saw a black van drive into a barn and vanish. In another, a woman claimed the ghost kid was her nephew, who'd drowned 15 years ago. "But he comes by sometimes," she said, like it was no big deal. One night, we tracked the van to an old grain silo. Inside, a spiral staircase led down to a concrete bunker. We found a wall covered in carved symbols. "These are gateway coordinates," Laura said. I touched one and felt a jolt like static electricity. The air around us shimmered, and suddenly we were standing in a moonlit forest, except it wasn't night in Kansas. And the moon had 3 rings around it. Laura drew her gun. "We're in between," she whispered. Shadows moved between the trees, tall, humanoid, but wrong. One stepped into the light, grinning with too many teeth. We ran. We burst back through the shimmer and slammed the silo door behind us. Laura was breathing hard. If the order opens a full gate, those things come through. Permanently. I told her I was reconsidering my stance on ghost stories. The next day, we set a trap, using the revolver as bait. Turns out it was the key to controlling the heart. We waited in an abandoned farmhouse. Sure enough, the black van rolled up. The ghost kid stepped out, but now he looked alive, breathing, solid. He locked eyes with me and said, "I'm not your enemy." That's when the suits from Ohio showed up, guns out. Chaos erupted, shots fired, windows shattering. The ghost kid grabbed my arm and pulled me outside. "You want answers," he said. "Come with me." I glanced back. Laura was holding her own, but barely. I made a decision. I went with him. We drove for miles in silence until we stopped at a run-down cabin. Inside, the heart of Ashford sat on a table, pulsing softly. "The Order wants to use it to merge worlds," he said. "Laura wants to destroy it. But there's a third way, is seal it forever." He claimed he'd been trapped between worlds since his death, guarding the heart, but now he was fading. He needed me to take over. I laughed. "You've got the wrong guy. I'm an office clerk." My most dangerous mission before this was surviving Black Friday at Target, but he looked at me with eyes that said he'd already decided. Before I could refuse, Laura burst in, gun drawn. "Step away from him, Ethan." The ghost kid shook his head. "If you destroy it, the gate bursts open. The Order wins." Laura's eyes flickered. She wasn't sure. We argued loudly until headlights appeared outside. Dozens of black SUVs. The Order had arrived. The ghost kid shoved the heart into my hands. "Choose," he said. Now, I don't know what possessed me. Maybe panic, maybe fate, but I pressed the revolver to the heart and fired. Light exploded outward, swallowing everything. When I woke, I was lying in the grass outside the cabin. The SUVs were gone. The heart was gone. Laura was kneeling beside me. "It's over," she said softly. "You sealed it." The gates closed. The ghost kid was nowhere to be seen. But I could still feel him, like a shadow at the edge of my thoughts. Laura drove me back to DC, dropped me off, and said, "If you ever get another key, call me first." I promised I would. I lied. Life went back to normal, mostly, but sometimes, when I pass a dark alley, I catch a glimpse of a lantern swinging in the shadows. And I wonder if I really sealed the gate, or just locked it from this side. Months later, I got a package in the mail, no return address. Inside was a silver key, identical to the first one. And that's when I knew, this wasn't over, not by a long shot.